Welcome to it. It's Archie in real life. I have picked myself up a GStove. I did a bunch of basically researching online to see an affordable stove, but at the same time one that's well built and will do what I need it to do. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear the wind or anything like that, but you might hear some cars in the background. I'm in my backyard at the moment. So the GStove one, I got it from a Canadian site, and it was actually affordable for me. I've looked into a whole bunch of different ones. I wanted like a tent stove, camping stove, emergency preparedness stove. That's basically why I got this in the first place, was for emergency preparedness and camping. But I'm going to pop it open here and see what it looks like. I've heard good things about it. I got some add-on. My dog is upset by something, which is not unusual. Everything all right? Can I finish doing this? Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to pull it all out, take a look at what we got, and go from there. So I ended up getting the spark arrestor because I wanted to get that. If I'm using it for emergency preparedness, I might be using this inside my house. Now, I don't suggest anybody use a wood stove in their house, but I'd actually have to make a bunch of modifications, allow for some airflow. Definitely have some carbon monoxide detectors on board if I ever do that. If I ever do that. So again, only in an emergency situation, if the power goes out, something to that effect. But I have some attachments to lead it outside of my house so that I'm not going to kill myself or anything like that. But definitely need ventilation if you ever intend to do that. And again, I do not ever suggest anybody do this against my own judgment. So there we go. So yeah, I got the spark arrestor, the Nist Fanger. Oh, that's kind of cool. What do we got here? Oh yeah, I wanted to get the extension legs on it because if I do use it in an area where there's going to be grass, or maybe the bottom of a tent, or possibly a wooden floor or anything like that, I wanted to get it up off of the floor so that it doesn't end up burning anything. I picked myself up a couple of 45 degree pipes to, again, lead it out of the house if I need to. So I got a couple of those. And I've also got the, oh yes, the airflow controller, because I've read online that a number of people found it very helpful to be able to control the airflow and vent it out so that you can increase the efficiency of the heat. So that's why I've got that as well. And what do we have here? Ah yes. I looked around online for a whole bunch of different heat mats, but I ended up going with the one that they supply because it seemed to be the best deal for the best price and for the use that I need it. So of course, anytime I'm going to be burning something, I'm going to try to have something underneath this mat to begin with as well. Kind of like those gyprock or what do they call them? Cement 4x4 slabs would be good to have underneath that. I would think. A little safety first, folks. So let's see here. All right, let's get this out here. All right, first things first. Oh, she feels pretty solid. Take that out of there. There's the grate that goes in the bottom of it, so to keep the ash separated from your wood. And let's just pop this whole thing out. Nice little, the side racks are actually the carry handle, so that's kind of cool. She's heavy, which is a good thing in my estimation. Now let's fold these legs in for now. Just pop that out like that. All right, let's get it turned around here. So inside is the all the goodies. So here's the little door here. Turn it for you this way. Let's see how this works. Oh, nice and easy. And then you've got all the pipes in here. And let's see. That's nice. A little ash cleaner. So move the ash out of the base. The cap is holding them all in, so that's kind of convenient. Yeah, I got the spark arrestor, but it also comes with this too. So, but I wanted to upgrade to the spark arrestor because you never know which one I'll need at what time. And then of course you got these. Feel pretty sturdy. So I got a number of these. Not bad at all. I like doesn't feel tinny. Doesn't sound tinny either. Speaking of which, this thing here, I like the welding on that. This is pretty stable. This is pretty heavy duty. Sounds pretty heavy duty. And again, take all those out. I like the fancy little door. I think that actually comes off. Yeah, it does. So it's got the little viewfinder on the side there, and then it's got the gauge on the front. And there's the handle, and of course there's the gauge, or the vent, or the flue, or whatever you want to call it. So, and again, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They all look to be about 18 inches or so. So 6 of these puppies, plus any added extra things you got on here. The birds are getting upset with me. So not too bad at all. What I'll do is I'll pick this up a bit so you can see the interior. And just inside there, it's pretty substantial. So there you see that you've got the edge on here so that you can actually set the grate on top. And then again, like I mentioned, you got the legs, the extended legs, and let's see here, these pop out. Let's do this right now. So the little pin pops out, and then you just twist that in. So pop that out, twist that over, pop that in, go over here, and then pop that onto that. I'll get that one in a moment when I flip it over. And so you can see right here, the little pin goes up inside, and you pop the clip on there. Let's do the other one. Oh, would you look at that? Got their fancy pants moose and salmon GStove symbol on the back, and like, listen to that. You can see the welding on here. I'm pretty happy with the gauge of it, but yeah, the feet are welded on too. Like, it doesn't look like somebody just ham-fisted it. Actually looks pretty impressive. And so there we have it. And of course these fold out to the side so you can use them for pretty much whatever you want to put food on them, and hang some clothes out to dry. The other thing that I liked about it is it's got the flat surface, plus it's also got the higher end, so it kind of leads the smoke and the heat towards the pipe, definitely at least the smoke and all the bad stuff up and out. And then you can basically cook on here. You can get a small mug on here. I've got a small stainless steel cup that it actually fit on there. I can get a cast iron pan on here, and that would be about a 12-inch cast iron pan. So yeah, you're looking at about a 6x8 cooking surface on there, so that'd be easily enough to cook on there. I do like these side things. The other thing is you can also get an oven for the stack itself. It goes up with a couple of pipes, and you can use an oven on it. And you can also get a hot water boiler that actually connects to the pipe right here, and you can boil water on it as well. So I think what I'll do is maybe later on I will get myself a fire going, and we'll take a look at how this beauty works. All right then. So far, pretty impressed with the build quality and the parts and such. So nice new toy to play with, and hopefully I never have to use it in an emergency situation. But then again, most people don't want to have to use anything in an emergency situation, and go from there. So the glass also is removable, so if there's ever an issue and you need to replace it, I guess you've got the opportunity that you can do that. So all right, let's see if we can fire this baby up. I figured I'd just go through some of these parts and actually show you what they look like. So this here is the spark arrestor. Pretty cool, not bad at all. And I believe that just drops into here, just like that. So that's pretty cool. And again, it automatically, the stove itself comes with a cap, with a stack cap, but yeah, again, for my purposes, I wanted to have the spark arrestor. So there is that. And again, actually we'll use that little ash thing to hold back the pipes. Don't drop it on the table. Hey, I got an idea. How about I be more noisy? So set those there. Let's see here. Alright, so this here is the airflow control. And oh, this funky little knob on there. Nice and fancy. And as you can see, and then you can just control the airflow going through the stack itself. Nice. Let's take that. Flip that upside down. So yeah, you can hear how sturdy these are. I'm actually pretty impressed with how these seem thicker than I was anticipating. So good. I'm happy. So that's the airflow. I gotta say, I like that funky little wheel or handle there. Awesome. So again, airflow. So this is the 45-degree pipe. They do have 90-degree pipes available as well. And here are the extension legs. As I said, I wanted to get it up off the ground. I've seen some videos where people had their different wood stoves and tent stoves and didn't use them properly and ended up burning the floor of their tent or burning the floor of their wooden cabin, regardless of the fact that there was a fireproof mat underneath. So I didn't want to take that chance. Again, if I'm in the middle of an emergency, the last thing I want to do is make more emergency. So let's pop these out. All right. So these are 30 centimeters long, or basically a foot. Just adds an extra foot to them. And again, you would just unscrew the stove itself. Right here, you can actually see there's a wing nut here. You can just undo that, put the new leg in, and then you'd have the extension on it. So let's see here. Yeah, and again, pretty good gauge. Feels nice and solid, so yeah, good to have that. And again, I like the fact that I can use the shorter legs or the longer legs, because depending on what I'm using it for, I get the choice. And choice is always good. They've got a lot of different little things that you can add to the bubble wrap. They've got a lot of, don't get distracted. They got a lot of different things that you can add to tweak it to the way you want it. So always a good idea. Options. Everybody loves options. All right. Let's open up the fireproof mat here. Now it is a fireproof mat, not a fire-resistant mat. That's something that you need to read when you're looking at things online on Amazon. I did not get this from Amazon. I got this from GStove Canada. And yeah, so far, pretty impressed with what I'm seeing. I have no doubt I'm going to be able to fire this up and be pretty happy with it. And there we go. Oh, look at that. You got the moose. Salmon moose. Hey, salmon moose. It was the salmon moose. Okay, here we go. So there is the fire mat, and I cannot recall exactly the size of it. Where does it say? I'd say a little over 3 feet. And yeah, a little over 3 feet on both sides. I'm going to think maybe 30 here and maybe 39, 40 here. But not too bad. Almost covers my whole picnic table. So doesn't seem too thick, but as I say, I'm not going to be using just it on the grass. I'm going to actually double it up with something else to use that. So anyway, that's basically what that is. Again, when it's a little bit safer out to have a fire and I can actually get it going if it's not too windy, I'll do that as well. So far so good. Pretty happy, pretty impressed with it all, and yeah, we'll give it a go later on. Until then. So in the short time that I've been holding on to this GStove, I've been thinking about what I'm going to be doing with it instead of leaving it in the box, and obviously I couldn't do that. And because I'm a horrific pack rat, I have found myself a little tote for luggage, but I've never actually used it for luggage. Something I've held on to because one day I might need it, and hey, I guess this is that day. So I managed to fit the GStove in this, which is amazing to me considering it's about, I'd say it's about 12 inches by 12 inches. 12 inches by 12 inches and maybe 30 inches high or so. I managed to get everything into it, so I got the mat. I'm going to fire the stove up, and just in case, I'm putting it on top of this concrete patio stone along with the mat. I've seen some people talk about the fact that it does get hot underneath. That is with the short legs, so I'm going to be using the long legs, and we'll see what happens and go from there. But time to get the fire started, and we're going to cook something up on it tonight and go from there. And just as a caveat, before I start putting the fire to this thing, I wanted to make you aware that the small regular GStove, not the XL, but the entry level one, you want to make sure that your wood is cut to about no bigger than 14.5 inches. Basically, the body of the inside of the stove is about 15 inches. So if all of your wood's cut to 16, you're going to have to lop an inch off of each one. But for me, that's not that much of a big deal. I can easily cut this stuff after I'm done. But also another thing is, for the most part, you can pretty much leave the front door off, and as the wood burns down, you can shove it back in. So either way, just be aware the inside of the stove is about 14.5 inches. This thing is roaring. I think I'll just take that one out. I don't even think I need that one. That's some good airflow. All right. So let's get some more little bits of wood in here and get the door back on. I've got the flue open right now. It does come with the flue, as I mentioned. I've got a lot of trees, and I've got a substantial amount of wood, which I am going to have to cut down. Let's see if that one will fit. Yep, no problem. So let's roll it along. I'm going to get this baby stoked up, and we'll just see how well she does. I'll get the door on there, and yeah, it's pretty sturdy. Yeah, step on my cord, that'll help. Pretty sturdy. I've got the pipe up, get it away from all the vegetation, but she's standing pretty stable. I'm kind of amazed at how straight that's standing. Yeah, so there's the flue one. I'll use that. I've been doing a lot of gardening, but yeah, pretty happy with this stack and the way it stays up. So there we go. Once I get that burning clean, spark arrestor on the top, another option, and of course the 45s. I'll pick up some 90s later on, and definitely the flue as well. So we'll get this baby ripping and roaring. Like, yeah, that's pretty nice in there already. So we got the door on it right now. She's going pretty good. And there is some good heat coming off of that. So yeah, definitely going to be able to cook our dinner on that today. And again, as I mentioned, you can get an oven that goes on the stack. You can also get a water boiler that goes right on top of it. And of course, we got this here. That is already warm, so be aware of that. It's uncomfortable to touch, so I would suggest using gloves. They're safety tips from Archie in real life. So there we go. And again, you can change this down here to let more air flow in. And so you see how much that changes there just by having a change on the flue. And that'll keep your heat in for you, especially if you're using this in a tent. So far I'm liking it. I'm pretty impressed. I like the solid build, and yeah, pretty impressed with it so far. So as you can see, this is a full-sized 12-inch skillet, cast iron skillet. It's pretty good on there. A little bit of room. So if you needed to put a full-size skillet on the smaller GStove, plenty of room to cook on. All right. We're just going to have some Corporal's Corner inspired spam and taters and onions and cheese and all that good stuff. And yeah, that'll be our dinner for tonight. Well, we've got some greens over there too that I grew in my own garden, which is kind of cool. I think it's bok choy that I grew. Might be some beans in there. Looks like a zucchini. I haven't grown zucchini yet, so anyway, that'll be our dinner for tonight. And something else I have discovered is that the little trays beside the stove itself will hold an 8-inch cast iron pan. So if you've already cooked something through and you want to just keep it warm, I guess you can just set it on one of those racks. Also, I've seen people use it for drying clothes and etc. So good place to put a pot of coffee if you just want to take it off. If you've used the main surface area to boil water, then you can just set it on the rack off to the side. So there we go. 8-inch pan on the left and a 12-inch in the center rack. So there we are. Well, did pretty good. Backyard hobo hash, I guess is what we can call it. So now, unfortunately, comes the vegetarian portion of our video here. Some mushrooms, some bok choy, some zucchini. There's some beans in there too. And the beans and the bok choy actually came from my garden. I grew them. I'm a first-year gardener, and something's actually working out for me, so that's kind of cool. So I'm going to partake of my spoils and add this to my backyard hobo hash. So yeah, and the 8-inch pan is working fantastically on top of this thing. So it's not quite as ungainly, I guess would be the word, but yeah, looking fine. And yeah, pretty happy with this. The GStove is a great buy. The build is great. Again, I've been moving this thing around and the smokestack has not shifted or moved, and it's been pretty windy out here at times as well. So it's definitely solid. It's not going to move too much on you. I did, however, you'll notice I've got some stuff down here. I put some sticks underneath the mat because being brand new, it is a little bit slick, and the stone that I do have it on might slightly be on an angle. I'm not sure how much, but I've got it basically propped to keep it from sliding around just in case. But if you know that you're on a definitely flat surface, then you shouldn't have a problem. But just safety first, kids. So there you go. Yeah, just to mention before I go here, the rings here, I can grab them no problem. No issue at all grabbing those. The one issue is this here. Does get warm. I might put a ring on that too, but it does definitely get warm. Yeah, it's calmed down a bit, but still not something that you want to grab when it's when the fire is actually roaring and flowing through here. So, all right, so I'll go cook my vegetarian delight here, and as far as the GStove goes, pretty happy with it. Fantastic. I'm glad I bought it. I'm definitely going to be using it for many different reasons and many different purposes and many different occasions. So thank you, GStove, and enjoy yourself and have fun in real life.